At 70, be careful with these 5 dangerous bedtime habits that can harm your heart and sleep. If you're over 70 and struggling to get a good night's sleep, or waking up feeling exhausted with your heart racing, what I'm about to share could be life-changing. Every single night, millions of seniors unknowingly engage in bedtime habits that put dangerous stress on their hearts. In fact, studies show that certain evening routines can increase your risk of heart attack and stroke by up to 30%. I'm talking about simple things you do without thinking. Habits that seem completely harmless but are silently sabotaging your health. One woman, just like you, went to bed every night doing what she thought was right, only to end up in the emergency room at 3 a.m. with chest pains. The doctor's diagnosis? Her bedtime routine was putting her heart under severe strain. If you're experiencing unexplained fatigue, irregular heartbeat, or poor sleep quality, this could be why. Stay with me, because what you're about to discover might just save your life. In the next 15 minutes, I'm going to reveal 5 dangerous bedtime habits that are wreaking havoc on your heart and sleep quality. You'll discover the surprising evening ritual that raises your blood pressure by 20 points. The common sleep position that cardiologists strongly warn against, and the medication mistake that thousands of seniors make every single night. But here's the thing, the 5th habit is the one most doctors never mention, yet it could be the most dangerous of all. Before we dive in, do me a favor, drop a comment right now if you've been struggling with sleep lately. Let's see how many of you this is affecting. Dangerous habit. Let me tell you about Margaret. She's 72 years old, a retired school teacher who loved her evening routine. Every night around 9 p.m. she'd sit down with a bowl of pasta, maybe some meatballs, a slice of garlic bread, and she'd enjoy her favourite TV shows. It was her ritual, her moment of peace after a long day. But Margaret started noticing something disturbing. She'd wake up in the middle of the night with severe heartburn. Her heart would be pounding, and she felt like she couldn't breathe properly. Some nights, the discomfort was so bad she thought she was having a heart attack. After weeks of this torture, she finally went to her doctor, and that's when everything changed. Her doctor explained something that shocked her. Eating large, heavy meals within 2 to 3 hours of bedtime forces your body to work overtime when it should be resting. Here's what happens inside your body. When you eat a big meal, your digestive system kicks into high gear. Blood rushes to your stomach and intestines to help break down all that food. But here's the problem. Your heart has to pump harder to redirect all that blood flow. For someone over 70, especially if you already have heart issues, this extra workload can be dangerous. Your blood pressure spikes, your heart rate increases, and if you lie down too soon after eating, stomach acid can flow back into your esophagus, causing that painful heartburn and putting additional stress on your cardiovascular system. The solution isn't to stop enjoying your evening meals, it's about timing and portion control. If you want to eat dinner, try to finish at least 3 hours before bedtime. If you get hungry later in the evening, opt for light snacks like a small handful of almonds, a banana, or some yogurt. These foods are gentle on your digestive system and won't force your heart to work overtime. Margaret made this simple change. She moved her dinner to 6 p.m. and switched to light snacks if she felt hungry later. Within 2 weeks, her nighttime heart palpitations stopped, her sleep improved dramatically, and she woke up feeling refreshed for the first time in months. Now, I want you to think about your own routine. Are you eating heavy meals late at night? If this sounds familiar, leave a comment below and let me know what your typical dinner time is. You might be surprised how many others are in the same boat. Dangerous habit. 2. Here's something most people don't realize. Your body has an internal clock, and when you mess with it, your heart pays the price. Now that you're retired, you might think, why should I stick to a bedtime schedule? I can stay up late watching movies, sleep in whenever I want, go to bed at midnight one night and 9 p.m. the next. Freedom, right? Wrong. This is one of the most dangerous traps seniors fall into. Let me explain what happens when you have an irregular sleep schedule. Your body operates on a circadian rhythm, a 24-hour internal clock that regulates everything from your hormone production to your heart function. When you go to bed at wildly different times each night, you throw this entire system into chaos. Your blood pressure, which normally drops at night to give your heart a break, stays elevated. Your stress hormones like cortisol remain high when they should be low. Over time, this irregular pattern significantly increases your risk of heart disease, heart attack, and even sudden cardiac death. Research from the American Heart Association found that seniors with inconsistent sleep schedules had a 50% higher risk of cardiovascular events compared to those who maintained regular sleep times. Think about someone like James, a 68-year-old retiree who loved his newfound freedom. Some nights he'd stay up until 2 a.m. binge-watching shows. Other nights he'd crash at 8 p.m. He started experiencing dizziness, fatigue, and his doctor noticed his blood pressure was all over the place. When James committed to going to bed at 10 p.m. and waking up at 6 a.m. every single day, even on weekends, something remarkable happened. Within a month, his blood pressure stabilized, his energy levels soared, and his doctor reduced his medication dosage. The key is consistency. Pick a bedtime that works for you. Somewhere between 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. is ideal for most seniors, and stick to it every single night. Yes, even on weekends. Yes, even when you don't feel tired. Your heart will thank you. Set an alarm on your phone 1 hour before bedtime as a reminder to start winding down. Create a relaxing pre-sleep routine, maybe some light reading, gentle stretching, or listening to calm music. What time do you usually go to bed? Drop it in the comments. Let's see if you're in the healthy range or if you need to make some changes. But here's where it gets even more serious, because this next habit could be putting you at immediate risk. Dangerous habit number 3. This one is critical, and I need you to pay very close attention because it involves something you're probably doing right now without realizing the danger. We're talking about medication timing, specifically blood pressure and heart medications. If you're taking these medications right before bed, you could be setting yourself up for serious complications. Here's the story of Robert, a 71-year-old man who had been taking his blood pressure medication every night at 10 p.m., right before he brushed his teeth and went to bed. He thought he was being responsible, never missing a dose, taking it at the same time every day. But Robert started experiencing something terrifying. He'd wake up in the middle of the night feeling extremely dizzy. His heart would be racing, and twice he nearly fainted trying to get to the bathroom. His wife was so scared she almost called 911. When Robert finally discussed this with his cardiologist, the doctor immediately identified the problem. Some blood pressure medications, especially certain types called beta blockers and ACE inhibitors, can cause your blood pressure to drop too low during sleep if taken right before bed. This can lead to dizziness, falls, and in severe cases, insufficient blood flow to your heart and brain. On the flip side, some heart medications work better when taken in the morning because that's when your cardiovascular system is most active and needs support. The issue is that everyone's medication regimen is different. What works for one person might be dangerous for another, depending on the specific drugs you're taking, your individual health conditions, and how your body metabolizes these medications. Here's what you absolutely must do. Schedule an appointment with your doctor or cardiologist specifically to discuss the optimal timing for each of your medications. Ask these exact questions. Should I take this medication in the morning or at night? Does this medication interact with my sleep or nighttime blood pressure? Are there any side effects I should watch for that might be related to timing? Should I avoid certain foods or activities around the time I take this medication? Robert made that appointment, and his doctor switched his blood pressure medication to morning dosing. Within days, the nighttime dizziness stopped completely, and he started sleeping through the night without any scary episodes. Never, and I mean never, change your medication timing without consulting your doctor first. But having this conversation could be the difference between restful sleep and a medical emergency. If this information is helpful to you, hit that like button right now. You might be saving someone's life by helping this video reach more people. Now, this fourth habit is something you do every single night without thinking, and it's affecting your heart in ways you never imagined. Dangerous habit. How do you sleep at night? On your back, your side, your stomach? You might think your sleeping position doesn't matter, but cardiologists are now warning that the way you position your body during sleep can significantly impact your heart health, especially if you're over 70. Let me paint you a picture. You crawl into bed, you lie flat on your back, maybe with one pillow, and you drift off to sleep. Seems perfectly normal, right? But if you have any heart issues, sleep apnea, or circulation problems, this position could be putting dangerous pressure on your cardiovascular system. Here's what happens. When you sleep completely flat on your back, gravity works against your heart. Fluid can accumulate around your heart and lungs, making it harder for your heart to pump efficiently. If you have congestive heart failure or any degree of heart weakness, this can lead to shortness of breath, interrupted sleep, and increased strain on your heart throughout the night. Sleep apnea, a condition where you stop breathing repeatedly during sleep, is also significantly worse when sleeping on your back. Each time your breathing stops, your oxygen levels drop, and your heart has to work harder to compensate. Over years, this pattern dramatically increases your risk of heart attack and stroke. Now, let's talk about side sleeping, because this is where it gets interesting. Cardiologists have found that sleeping on your left side versus your right side can make a real difference. Some studies suggest that sleeping on your right side is better for heart health because it reduces pressure on your heart, which sits slightly left of center in your chest. However, other research indicates that left-side sleeping can improve circulation and reduce acid reflux. The truth is, it depends on your specific heart condition. If you have heart failure, your doctor might recommend sleeping on your right side or with your upper body elevated. Here's what I recommend for most people over 70. Elevate your upper body slightly using a wedge pillow or by raising the head of your bed by about 6 to 8 inches. This helps with circulation, reduces acid reflux, and takes pressure off your heart. If you're a back sleeper, place a pillow under your knees to improve circulation and reduce lower back strain. If you're a side sleeper, place a pillow between your knees to keep your spine aligned and reduce pressure points. Avoid sleeping on your stomach. This position can strain your neck and doesn't provide any cardiovascular benefits. Talk to your doctor about the best sleeping position for your specific heart condition. Think about someone like Dorothy, 74, who had mild heart failure and was sleeping flat on her back every night. She'd wake up gasping for air, feeling like she was suffocating. Her cardiologist recommended elevating her upper body and sleeping on her right side. The very first night she made this change, she slept 6 hours straight without waking up. She told her doctor it was like a miracle. Are you a side sleeper or a back sleeper? Comment below and let us know. And if you've noticed that changing positions helps you sleep better, share that too. But now we're coming to the fifth and final habit, and this is the one that surprises everyone. Even doctors didn't fully understand this connection until recently, but the research is now undeniable. Dangerous habit number 5. Picture this. It's 10 p.m., you're lying in bed, and you're scrolling through your phone. Maybe you're checking Facebook, watching videos, reading the news, or texting your grandchildren. The glow of the screen lights up your face in the dark room. You tell yourself, just 5 more minutes, but those minutes turn into an hour or more. You finally put the phone down, close your eyes, but your mind is racing. Your heart is beating faster than it should. Sleep doesn't come easily. What you don't realize is that you've just activated a dangerous chain reaction in your body that's putting serious stress on your heart. Let me introduce you to Robert, 68 years old, a retired engineer who spent every evening in bed with his tablet, scrolling through news and social media for hours. He started noticing that his heart would race at night, he'd feel anxious, and even when he was exhausted, he couldn't fall asleep. His doctor ran tests and found that his nighttime blood pressure was dangerously high and his stress hormones were through the roof. Here's the science behind what's happening. The blue light emitted from phones, tablets and televisions suppresses your body's production of melatonin, the hormone that makes you sleepy and regulates your sleep-wake cycle. When melatonin is suppressed, your body thinks it's still daytime, so it keeps producing cortisol, your stress hormone. Elevated cortisol at night keeps your heart rate up, raises your blood pressure, and triggers inflammation throughout your cardiovascular system. For someone over 70, this nightly pattern is like running your heart at high speed when it should be resting and recovering. But it gets worse. The content you're consuming on these devices often triggers emotional responses. Stressful news, arguments in comment sections, disturbing videos, all of this activates your fight-or-flight response. Your body releases adrenaline, your blood vessels constrict, your heart pounds harder. You might not consciously feel stressed, but your cardiovascular system is reacting as if you're in danger. Studies have shown that people who use electronic devices within 2 hours of bedtime have significantly higher rates of heart disease, poor sleep quality, and cardiovascular events. For seniors, the impact is even more pronounced because your body's ability to regulate stress hormones naturally declines with age. So, what's the solution? Implement a strict 2-hour digital curfew before bed. If you normally go to sleep at 10 p.m., no screens after 8 p.m. None. I know this sounds difficult, especially in our connected world, but your heart health depends on it. Here are some alternatives that will actually help you sleep better and protect your heart. Read a physical book or magazine under warm, dim lighting. Do some gentle stretching or yoga. Listen to calming music or nature sounds. Have a real conversation with your spouse or call a friend. Write in a journal to process the day's thoughts. Practice deep breathing exercises or meditation. If you absolutely must use the device in the evening, enable blue light filters or night mode. Reduce screen brightness to the lowest comfortable level and keep the device at least arm's length away from your face. Robert made this change. He started reading books again, something he used to love but had abandoned for his tablet. He put his phone in another room at 8 p.m. every night. The transformation was remarkable. Within 3 weeks, his nighttime blood pressure normalized, he was falling asleep within 15 minutes instead of hours, and he woke up feeling genuinely refreshed. His doctor was amazed at the improvement. Be honest, how many of you are watching this video in bed right now on your phone or tablet? No judgment here, just drop a comment and let me know. Awareness is the first step to change. Now, here's a bonus tip that ties all of this together. Something that can protect your heart and guarantee better sleep starting tonight. So, there you have it. 5 bedtime habits that millions of seniors engage in every single night without realizing they're putting their hearts at serious risk. Late-night heavy meals that force your heart to work overtime. Irregular sleep schedules that throw your entire cardiovascular system into chaos. Taking medications at the wrong time of day. Sleeping in positions that strain your heart. And screen time that floods your body with stress hormones when you should be winding down. But here's the empowering truth. Now that you know about these dangers, you have the power to change them starting tonight. These aren't complicated medical procedures or expensive treatments. These are simple adjustments to your daily routine that can add years to your life and life to your years. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning feeling truly refreshed, knowing that your heart is protected, that you're doing everything you can to stay healthy and vibrant for your family. That future starts with the choices you make tonight. If this video opened your eyes to dangers you didn't know existed, do me a favor right now. Smash that like button and share this with anyone over 60 who needs to see this information. You could literally be saving someone's life. Subscribe to this channel so you never miss life-saving advice like this. We're here to help you live your absolute best life after 60. Now, tell me in the comments which of these 5 habits shocked you the most. Was it the medication timing, the sleep position, or the screen time danger? We read every single comment, and your insights help us create even better content for this amazing community.